Hi there, I'm Karen Marie, and this is Psyched Up for Sunday, September 6th, 2020. Did you miss me? For those of you that have been following me regularly, you will know that I took the month of August off, and it's been awesome. I've just taken care of myself this month, and I'm in a great place. So today I have been guided to talk about the current planets and the transits and what's going on in the heavens and how it's affecting all of us. So right now, the sun is in Virgo. It's at 14 degrees. So it's been in Virgo for a couple weeks. So when the sun is in Virgo, we all have the tendency to want to focus on details, to attend to our health, to get things in order, to organize things. So if you've been in that kind of a mode, you're in rhythm. Right now, the moon is in Taurus. It is conjuncting Uranus, which is also in Taurus. So the moon represents our intuition, our inner voice, and Uranus is a spiritual planet that knocks things down and shakes things up unexpectedly, only to replace it with things that are better. So you may have sudden revelations tonight, or because of the connection with the moon, sudden insights that might hit you. That's a way that those two can talk to each other. The planets all kind of have these dance with each other in the skies. So I'm going to talk about all the different things that are going on and lay out the landscape that's been going on. So I already talked about the sun in Virgo. We just had Mercury go into Libra. It's been going through Virgo as well. So now it's in Libra. So Mercury is the planet of communication. It rules the head. So, and to backtrack about one of the things, the downsides of Virgo, when the sun's in Virgo, is the tendency to be perfectionistic and be harsh, be too hard on yourselves, looking at everything that's wrong. So that's one of the downsides of Virgo. So Mercury's been going through that. So we've been up in our heads. Mercury is in its home in Virgo, because Virgo is ruled by Mercury. So Mercury's been going through that. Now today it's at 1 degree of Libra. So it's moved, the planet of communication is moved from being in the head, trying to figure things out, blah, 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 into Libra, which is an air sign. It's the scales. It's finding balance, finding harmony. We want to find solutions. We want to talk things out calmly when Mercury is in Libra. Now, Mars is been traipsing through Aries, its home sign, since the end of June. It has crossed over Chiron, the wounded healer. It has crossed over Eris, its sister war goddess, and Black Lilith, our fears. So it's been really hitting hard on a personal level, really stirring people up. And I had said this in a previous video, that people with unresolved anger issues will get their stuff stirred up when Mars is in Aries. It has also been squaring the stellium. Stellium means 3 or more planets together in the skies, of Saturn and Pluto and Jupiter, that's in the later degrees of Capricorn. So I'll talk more about those planets in a minute, but it is squared off with all 3 of these planets as it's traipsed through Aries. Now, Mars usually takes 6 weeks to go through a sign. So this coming week on Wednesday, on the 9th, it will go retrograde. And anytime a planet is turning around, stationing to turn one way or the other, it's extra powerful. Mars is the god of war, right? So we've already been seeing this theme going on with Mars and stirring things up and people being extra pissy and extra volatile, and just this war energy has been everywhere. I've been saying this, and even I was, surprised when a close loved one of mine exploded at me last month. So if you've had people exploding at you, you are not alone. Or if you've been the one exploding, or if you've been internally combusting as a result of this, want to explode but haven't, good for you. So it is at 28 degrees now. It is stationing to go retrograde. So in the last week, it's just gone 1 degree. So it will go backwards all the way back to 15 degrees of Aries. It is retrograde from the 9th of September until November 13th, which goes past the elections, right? So Mars is the planet of taking action, moving forward, putting energy into things. It loves being in Aries because it's extra powerful there. So extra gnarly when it goes retrograde and it's doing all these squares to the outer planets. So let me talk a little bit more of these outer planets and what they represent. The outer planets move more slowly, where the inner planets, Venus, Mercury, and Mars, are more personal. They affect us more personally. The outer planets are really more what we're all doing here on the globe. They affect everyone. Not that the inner planets don't, but you can feel the inner planets as they move more quickly. You can feel them more personally. So Saturn right now is at 25 degrees of Capricorn. It will stay at 25 degrees all month. It is currently retrograde. Pluto is at 22 degrees. It is also retrograde. And Jupiter is at 17 degrees, also retrograde. These outer planets have been working in this area of the skies all year long. So Saturn is our rules, our structures, our laws, our constitution, how we form things. It's the boundary, it's the stop sign. And so in Capricorn, it's the good old boys network, the way we've always done things here. This is how we do things here. Saturn had actually gone up into Aquarius earlier this year in March when we were passing laws that everyone got paid. That was when Saturn, the lawmaker, was in Aquarius, the sign that represents humanity, where human beings are most important. It's gone back into the tug of war with the old paradigm. Is Saturn and Capricorn is the old paradigm. Pluto represents death and transformation. It represents empowerment. And Pluto may have been demoted as a planet, but anything that gets close to Pluto will be transformed. So what has Pluto been close to all year long? Saturn. Our rules, our structures, our laws. And so it is stirring things up. It will leave things completely unchanged. Completely changed. We will not have things left unchanged. People are saying, well, when are things going to go back to normal? We're going to have a new normal. We're not going backwards. We are tearing down the structures that have not worked, both in our personal lives and in our societies. And this is not just here in America, it's all around the globe. You've seen these protests. So Eris has been squared off with Pluto. Eris, again, is Aries' sister. She was on the battlefield right along with all the men, not holding herself back, taking glee at charging in. So she's been in a square with Pluto for months. When the protests started, they squared off. And I even predicted that these protests would continue all year long. And they have, and they will. They don't pull out of the square till early next year. Mars, as it goes retrograde, will be squaring these planets. So emphasizing this war aspect. With Mars, it's already in a square right now with Saturn. It squares off with Saturn. It's like a 2 degrees off of it, but still considered a square all month long. So this theme of war and, challenging the status quo, challenging the rules, challenging the boundaries that have been set, challenging the laws and how we've done things. That, Mars is like tearing it up. It will turn direct November 13th, and then it doesn't get back to the place it is right now until January. So it's tearing up turf, burning up things. Mars is also like fire, and fires in California have been going crazy while Mars has been in Aries. It's also represents the head, and so people can injure themselves or have head injuries if you're not careful. So it's definitely move more slowly. It also is the scalpel. It's cutting things. So don't have surgery while Mars is retrograde. And if you have to take any legal action, don't start it while Mars is retrograde, because chances are you're going to end up losing when you try to initiate something when Mars is retrograde. Even new projects, you may find that they just naturally get put on hold, or that they just take so much more effort because of the retrograde action. So it's squaring with Saturn all month long. It has an exact square with Saturn on the 29th of September. So at the end of the month, it's exact, which I kind of expect to be one of the days this month that's highlighted. Then it'll be squaring Pluto, and it'll be squaring Jupiter as well next month. So Jupiter expands things. So this energy of transformation and shifting and changing, Jupiter's coming along and just highlighting it, expanding this, making it bigger. Jupiter makes things bigger. And it's also about knowledge, right? And what we know. And so since Jupiter's been retrograde, people may have been rethinking what they believe in, what they hold to be truth. So this energy won't break apart. Saturn moves forward. When does Saturn? It's this month. Let's see. Saturn goes direct on September 28th. Okay. And then Jupiter goes direct September 12th. So that's a really positive day this month. One of the biggest days is the 9th when Mars goes retrograde. On that same day, the sun is trining Jupiter. So the sun trining Jupiter is actually a beneficent, it's a positive aspect that can expand things. But with Mars going retrograde, there's going to be all these mixed signals going on. You can have super positive things going on, revelations going on at the same time that things get stirred up. Now, another thing, when planets go backwards, they can reverse how someone normally behaves. So if someone's normally fiery, like Aries is fiery, it's impulsive, it jumps into things quickly without thinking. That's the natural sort of Mars and Aries energy. When it goes retrograde, people who are naturally sort of impulsive may be more like I said, imploding internally, or people who are usually keep their stuff to themselves may do the opposite and be more explosive than they usually are. It's just a volatile time that we're in between now until the middle of November. And then it's still, so Mars has already squared the stellium of planets that are changing things up in Capricorn as it moved forward. We've already gone through one square of Mars with Jupiter, Saturn, and Pluto. It will square Saturn, it'll square them all going backwards, and then it'll turn around and do a final pass and square them all going forwards again. So the last square is going to be in January. So again, January is going to be a real pivotal time. And the rest of the year is pivotal in a lot of inner shifting and changing. Like, that's what we can have power over and control over, is ourselves. So this is a great time to go within and do spiritual practices. We've got Neptune in Pisces. So Neptune's a very psychic planet. It's a very spiritual planet. In Pisces, a very spiritual sign. So there's been this draw for everybody, sort of this pulse of wanting to get more spiritual, to really tune in internally. Lots of us haven't had any choices, right? We're kind of stopped in the outer world. We have to kind of go within. But the planets are actually dictating this as well. Like, they're right in sync with what's going on. There's no coincidence that the things that are going on in this society are being reflected in astrology. I started studying astrology. Well, I've been studying it since I was like 10 years old. I read Linda Goodman's Sun Signs, but I've been diving into the transit study over the last 3 years, and I was not surprised by this COVID piece and us all getting locked down, because I was looking at these outer planets saying, we are transforming the paradigm. We are transforming how things have been. The patriarchal rule that has been on this planet, that's also Saturn and Capricorn, is being transformed. We are going to balance between the male and the female principle. So another thing that Mars represents is this male principle. So it's kind of getting all testy and pissy and doing its male dominating kind of thing right now, because it's also getting transformed in the middle of all this. The energy of the male, and this is the male within all of us. We all have masculine and feminine within. So the male aspect of us is the part of us that takes action and moves forward and protects us and then where the feminine is the intuitive and that loves and nurtures. So so this interaction, this warring between the planets is showing up in our lives. It's showing up personal with interpersonal confrontations, and also, out in the world. So we also have Venus that's just changed signs. It's been moving through Cancer, where it's very sensitive and very tuned into feelings. And then Venus is now, today, it's at 0 degrees of Leo. So Leo is super passionate, demonstrative. So Venus represents our heart and our love, what we love, who we love, what we want to put our energies into in terms of desires and passions. And so in Leo, it's extra heightened in terms of demonstrative love. Like, it can bring love into your life with Venus transiting Leo, and it can show up in a big way. So this is a positive that's going on this month. You can feel hopeful about is the Venus in Leo energy is a lovely placement. The Mercury in Libra also is really helping us. Wait, let's figure this out. Let's balance. Let's listen to both sides of things. So that's in the works as well as these other planets going on. So I was talking about Neptune. One of the downsides of Neptune is it can be delusions, illusions. It can be addictions. And so I'm really feeling this so strongly psychically. Lots of people really struggling with anxiety, with depression, with addictions. They're locked in their homes. And what are they doing? They're resorting to old behavior patterns and things that don't really serve us. Nobody's watching. I'm going to just go and do this. And so a lot of people, I feel like, are imploding because they have not been taking care of themselves. So hopefully you've been one of those that felt this Sun in Virgo energy and have wanted to take a turn and start taking care of your health better. Because if you don't, it can really implode. Another thing that Mars can do is stir up the physical body if it's not in good health. You can have things that get aggravated in terms of health things. So really pay attention to your health. If you have been thinking, I should go get a checkup, go do that. Go get a checkup. Go make those changes in your diet that you've been thinking about making that are going to make you feel better. Make the changes in lifestyle. And if you need help, get help. There's lots of help available out there, from 12-step groups to therapists to online support groups, all kinds of support. You don't have to be alone. Right now, almost all the 12-step meetings are meeting online in Zoom meetings. So you don't even have to get out of your house to go check out a meeting. You can sit there with your camera off and your microphone off and just listen. They'll know you're there, but you don't have to participate. You can check it out. I would recommend that if you're really struggling, especially with any addiction substances. It's really, really difficult to break out of addictive patterns by yourself. So reach out, ask for help. It's there. So we have the North and the South nodes. The North node is at 25 degrees of Gemini, and the South node is at 25 degrees of Sag. So the North node is where we're collectively headed. And so 25 makes to a 7, which is a very spiritual number. So again, there's this pointing to spirituality and spiritual solutions. Also, Gemini rules the head. So a lot of people up trying to figure out things. It's inventiveness. It's creativity. On the downside, it's duplicity. It's Jekyll Hyde. It's saying one thing and doing another. So it's kind of hard to know what to believe right now out in the media. Gemini rules the media too. So we don't really know who's telling the truth out there and what's being, we don't know. And then the South node is our collective karma and what we're transforming in terms of our karma. And that's at 725 of Sag. And this is our belief systems. So people may be challenging what they've always believed in, what they always thought to be true. Wait, hold up. Maybe that's not true. People are a lot more open to seeking out new spiritual paths, new spiritual directions, especially with this Jupiter. And we have a highlight this month. We have the sun will be trining Jupiter. The sun will be trining all these outer planets as well, emphasizing this energy. So big days to look out for this month. The 9th of September, when the sun is trining Jupiter. That's a beneficent and Mars goes retrograde. Really curious to see. And even, a couple days before and after, we feel this. We feel the shift of the planets. And because Mars has already been stirring up a lot of havoc, I'm really not looking forward to it going retrograde and then traipsing back forward again. Like I fear the worst. I'm praying for peace and resolution and people to keep their heads on straight, but it is a setup for hotheads and explosive tempers and explosive energy and explosions, bombs and fires and this kind of thing, volcanoes. Uranus has been in Taurus for a couple years now, and Taurus represents the earth, and Uranus shakes up things. And so we've already been experiencing a lot of earth things that are different, like 2 hurricanes coming at us at once in the Gulf here in Texas, and just fires in California. I'm feeling more earthquakes coming. I'm really feeling the whole ring of fire that runs up California and into the Orient, that we're going to be having volatility on the Earth's plates. I mean, look it up. Look where the plate line, tectonic plate is running through California. It's right on a fault line. I've really been feeling that. I don't get a sense of when that might be, but I do feel like that's happening. So if you're out there in California, you live on a fault line, listen to your intuition. Your higher self is hooked up. That is what the intuitive voice is connected to, the higher self, the divine self, the Christ self, the Buddha nature, whatever you want to call it. Our intuition is the voice of that. So there's nothing to be afraid of in following your intuition. In fact, that is what I consider my number one mission, is to help everyone get hooked up with your own intuition. Not me having to do readings for the whole world or for everyone, but for everyone to be really accessing and listening to your intuition. It's so, so important. So September 12th, Jupiter goes direct. Here again, outer planet, turning and moving forward. It's been retrograde. That also can be a powerful day of shifting. I feel like it's going to be a positive day when that shifting is happening. We also are going to be having a new moon in Virgo on the 17th. In the same day, Mercury is squaring Jupiter. We've just got lots. I don't want to go into all the details of all this because probably y'all already having your eyes crossed if you don't know a lot about astrology. But it's an active month. Let me just put it that way. And I'll go into more of the transits later this month. Next week, I'll be talking about them again because this is just such a powerful time. And I want everybody to be aware. So 9th is Mars retrograde. The 12th is Jupiter going direct. We have the 17th is the new moon in Virgo. This is a great, very powerful new moon. It's a great time to set intentions that what you want, not just in the near future, but like for a long term. It's a really powerful new moon. We have Pluto will go direct on October 4th. So that's next month, but that's a heads up. Another again, when these outer planets or when any planet shifts directions, we can all feel it. September 11th, we'll have Mercury opposing Chiron and the Sun opposing Neptune. So this can be a very gnarly day. I mean, it's a pivotal day in our American history. It's also a day one of my children was born on September 11th. My son Jaden will be 23 on that day. But back to the delusional aspect of Neptune, like it is like calling a lot of people into like, I just want to check out. This is too much. It's too intense. I can't. And so there's that kind of pulse. On the higher end is like, I just want to meditate. I just want to pray. It's very creative. Dreams can be activated when there's an interaction with Neptune. So that can be, the positive end of things. Let's see, what else do I want to say about what's going on with the planets? You just need to hold on to yourself right now. Nurture yourself, like lots of nurturing, lots of self-care. It really is the time to get quiet and listen and be still. It is such an easy time for your mouth to just go off and to say blurt things out. Again, the Mars and Aries retrograde theme. I'm worried about war breaking out with this Mars and Aries energy. If not during this retrograde period, as it moves back forward again. Like really, we're out of the clear by January in terms of Mars goes into Taurus at that point. But then it'll be conjuncting Uranus. And so that's another, and we have 8 months next year of Uranus squaring Saturn. And so the planet that shakes things up is going to be squaring off with Saturn, our rules and our laws and all that, and shaking things up for 8 months of next year. So we're not out of the woods here yet with this pandemic we're dealing with, the protesting and the volatility that's showing up on the other side of the protesting. And I just feel like this theme will continue. And so we really need to stop and breathe and try to grab some peace. It's out there. That beautiful Venus in Leo can really just be super passionate and lovely. But also, Venus can be super impassioned about things that aren't good. And that can add to the mix too. So people who just feel super passionate about this issue or that thing can really be like off the chain. It can also be a time of not being able to see clearly with the North Node in Gemini and the Sun opposing Neptune. It can be delusional and nebulous and just fuzzy, where you just really don't know and you really can't see. Those are the planets I feel like I need to talk about today. I hope that's been helpful and that you got something out of that. Just a heads up, be careful. It's not you. It's not just you. It's everyone. When are things going to lift? Like these outer planets, Saturn and Jupiter will be going into Aquarius next year and then staying. So they'll be leaving this Capricorn theme and moving into a completely new theme. So I really feel like we're going to have a change of the tides, new direction when it comes to all around the globe, not just in our society. There's going to be a shift in power. I see that with this Pluto and Saturn transformational thing, and then these planets moving into the next sign of Aquarius, which is all about humanity and coming together and being one planet, one Earth here. So I feel like those will be the themes of next year. And right now it's demolition time. Pluto is tearing down the old, and Mars is helping. Mars is over there setting fires on the other side of things. So we've got all these little, and they're not moving quickly. These outer planets move very slowly. So Pluto doesn't go into Aquarius till 2025. So it's not going to be done transforming the old. So we've got another 4 or 5 years of more of the Pluto transformation. It won't be as intensive though, because Saturn won't be right there next to it and Jupiter just shining the magnifying glass on it all. So breathe deeply and often, chant, pray, meditate, drink lots of water, take really good care of your health right now. It should be so much easier right now with the sun in Virgo right now. A couple more weeks and it'll move into Libra, which will also be a lovely sign of trying to balance things out and get more harmony. Relationships are usually prominent when the sun is in Libra, and we've already got relationships prominent with Venus in Leo. So there could be new relationships starting up. With Mars going retrograde, there could be also relationships breaking up over these next few months. So if your relationship is already on a teetering point, I have to tell you that, it may not last. You may have to let go of the old and embrace the new. The good news is that we always can get the spiritual direction that we need one day at a time. We can tune in to our inner voice and ask our higher guidance, what today do I feel guided to do? That's the wisdom I'll leave with you. My website's still down. We are working on it. It's going to come up with a new name and a new theme when it does come back up. So I'll let you know once that's up and running. If you need to get in touch with me to schedule a reading, a past life regression, rebirthing, or psychic development session, I'm doing all those either over the phone or through Zoom. My email is bringoutthebuddha buddha@gmail.com. And Buddha is spelled Buddha. So bringoutthebuddha@gmail.com is how you get in touch with me. If you want to donate, I'm happy to receive donations. You can donate through my Venmo account, which is Karen-Marie-16, as in sweet 16. Or you can PayPal me at that same email, bringoutthebuddha@gmail. Gladly accept your donations if you'd like to contribute to my beautiful cause here. I really thank you guys for tuning in. I've heard from a lot of my clients and friends over this month of August, like, I didn't get your email, like, I didn't get your video. And I'm like, no, I'm taking a break. I haven't done it. So I appreciate for those of you that really do tune in and watch these every week. All my love. Peace.